Hello, welcome back. Last time I finally learned what System Repair Bot had been plotting, and we reached the Addle at System Syzygy. Right, I can see it there. Top secret, but now the shroud is lifted. And that is... oh, that device is bigger than I realized. It doesn't look as large here on this screen. Anyway, so this is halfway solved. Ugrant is now doing something with lasers. Activate each detector with the appropriate color of laser. Drag objects, words of wisdom. Only room for 2 beams through the center. Yes, of course. I figured we'd have something like that. Yeah, so 3 things, but 2 lanes. Okay. Uh-huh. Missoura's keeping her thoughts to herself, mostly. Okay, so what do you do? Right, you shift the colors around. Okay. Well, anyway, so there's splitting, there's shifting. That sounds not too bad, really. So let's do the simple first here. Gonna be hard to imagine I can do much beyond just like getting these 2 in here. Like, how much work could I realistically do in this area? Doesn't feel like much. Okay, so now I just need to turn red and a green into... oh. Okay, so now... where is there any room for splitting and stuff? Well, okay, so basically what I want to do is get 2 lasers in, split them someplace. So there's a wall here. That's going to mean something. If I would split this... sorry, I'm not really finishing my thoughts. Don't worry about it. So if green's going directly in there, I have a funny feeling that this will be easier if green is in this lane and red is in that lane. If I wanted to do that, how easy could I set it up? So that would be why there's this extra space here. It's actually quite trivial, though. Okay, so yeah, lots of unused pieces. I'll just pile them up over here. Yeah, so this is my buffer of unused things. It doesn't all fit, so the rest will just have to be in here. Okay, so workspace. I'm going to want a split and a mirror. That mirror's doing double duty, kinda. This mirror actually can just go there, and I will need a color shifter. I could split like this, but that's not going to do what I need. Probably. Yeah, because this creates a pinch that doesn't let blue get anywhere. Really, I want to split as early as possible. I think perhaps a key is going to be... ooh. I can't do that, no. How and where can I put my splitters? Okay, so let's observe this pinch point right here. So these spaces, there's essentially just as much of a pinch here as there is here. 2 lasers come down. It'd be nice to already have blue by the time I'm down there, but okay, so both colors have to come down here if I'm mixing into blue in this position. Now... how? How? So you need 2 inputs to get an output. Why do I have 2 of these? Probably because I'm changing colors before going over here. Just by the fact that it gives me 2, I'm going to presume I'm using 1 first. Why would that help? Well, because blue could just route around here, and yeah, so I could split it and have the inputs be... Okay, so these are also pretty restrictive in terms of where I can use them. Where could I use one of these devices over here? For the inputs and outputs to make any sense. Doesn't feel like I can, but I'm going to have to. Here's a spot. That's the most sensible spot for that. Okay, so let's assume I'm inputting a blue and a red, splitting both. Yeah, so solving this backward is actually bringing this into focus. Blue and red come in and reconstitute green. Yeah, okay. That's actually not too bad at all. It's basically this on this end. I need one more mirror. And then, wait, hold on. Is this right? If blue comes in here, that part's correct. This is nothing in particular. Okay, blue comes in. Gets to blue. Also splits to the color shift input. Red comes in. That is wrong. This goes here. Red comes in, splits there, acts as the other input in the thing that makes green, and also goes to red. Okay, so I think all of this is correct. I just need the upstream. So blue here, red here. Red already is ready to go, except it needs to be split into 2 because it has to mix. Could I do this? Sure. So then I just need to mix green and red together. Like that. I think I'm done. There we go. Okay. Exactly as planned. Relling's turn. You sure have, from the shadows. Okay, you're aware of this. So this is when they have words. Relling said this would happen later. Now is later. I get his vote of confidence. That's nice. All right. Teamwork. Let's do it. Okay, this is lights out. Oh boy. All 20 lights off. 20. 20? Yes, 20. Somehow I saw 4x3, but it's 5x4. Click on lights to toggle. Some of the adjacent lights. Pattern toggled will change after each move. It will? Plus N X Z plus N X Z. Okay. Whoops, not what I wanted. Reset. This is plus. N is just that, it's not that full thing. So X is going to be the obvious thing, then you get Z, which is a rotated N, then back to plus. Woof. Okay. Edges and corners, yes, of course. Lights out, yup. Relling has no response. It will be funny if the lights go out after I solve this step. Okay, so turn them out. A lot of these were not too bad. Maybe this will be fine. Let's just do it. I mean, this normal lights out rules kind of just don't even apply here because this is such a different sort of thing. So I'm just going to do it by... I mean, they do, but they also don't. One of those funny situations. Let's undo that one. I don't like that. Okay, so take advantage of corners and stuff. Let's just kind of chase everything down to the lower left corner. How about that? I don't like that move so much. How do I get just that? I'm going to toggle things here until I can. Okay, that's nice looking. This is very close, okay. But I don't want to turn this back on, so I'm going to avoid that move. Oh, I'm done. There we go. All right. I filled with it and found it easily. All right. Missoura's turn. What is she doing? Like, what is the quintessential Mesur puzzle? Like, all of those others pretty much made sense for the character who was doing them. But, like, what's your puzzle type? Reprogram the system. Yeah, the programming manual was lost. That was taken out of cold storage specifically. Uh-oh. Nope. It's all up to you. Uh-huh. Ooh. There's a lot going on here. Multi-puzzle. Okay, so yeah, you don't have a specific puzzle type. You just, you do everything. What word goes with Syzygy? Oh, well, okay. I already know what the word is. The final missing word. Got it. Okay. I mean, now, why are these? Something's gonna change when... Wait, this doesn't move. This does. Hold on, once... Okay. So everything I knew before... Itris Argony, Elinsa, Ugrant, Relling, Missouri. So these names were chosen so they not only spell Syzygy, but they can also spell system. Alright. So this is... Those are all 1 to 1 or 1 to -1. So are those, so are those, so are those, so are those, so are those. So no interacting with these will end up doing that unless system just naturally forms down there, which I know it won't. Syzygy. Okay, so instead I need to interact with these parts. So these are colors that I'm, oh boy, not so familiar with. Red, blue, red, green, green, blue. Okay, so that determines what the lasers are. These don't really care what they're connected to. So I can't move these. Oh, oh, it's ice sliding. Ah, every puzzle at once. Okay. So ice sliding, that's the rotator. Yeah, I didn't really parse what this meant. Okay. So what do the receptors even do? That turns that thing red, which doesn't appear to affect how these move. Red's just... No, this is where the laser comes from. Okay. So this input goes to that output. Wait, you didn't rotate. Oh, you did, but you did it twice, of course. Now, I need magenta. Ah, this is gonna like lock one of the wheels down or something when I get the right color in it. Oh boy. Wait. How do I mix? Oh. Like this. Got it, okay. So that would mean I'm going to direct blue up here. Okay, so that has locked those three. Now this has a green thing on it. What? How do I know which output goes to what here? Experimentation, I guess? So magenta locks the first three. Okay, let's find out what cyan does. Let's not make that the cyan output. Let's make this the cyan output. Okay, so I just need to rotate you a little bit. That locks... Okay. So I think what it's saying, extrapolating from here, I would say that green highlight is the index of the laser receptor I'm aiming at. And the two that are adjacent to it, plus the one itself, get locked. Let's test that with yellow. So prediction is, when I turn this yellow, it will lock those three. Yes, okay. White. White locks these three. Cyan there locks these three. And yellow here will lock those two in this one. Okay, now I could do multiple at a time, right? Okay, well that's going to be the simple way. So, that means I can predict. Let's just interact with the three that are wrong. So that means I want this cyan active. Oh, but does it toggle? Okay, let's get cyan and magenta both going at the same time. To do that, I will do it this way. So cyan from here. Magenta from the... yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's a toggle. Alright, so XOR instead of just lock. I could have up to 3 XORs. Is there a combination of 3 XORs of 3 adjacent ones of these that results in exactly one being unlocked? I would need odd number, odd number, odd number, even number, odd number, odd number. I'm probably going to have to work with multiple reels at the same time, which is fine if that's what I'm doing. So a pretty decent configuration here would probably be magenta and white, which would allow just A and E to be moved. Then I would just have to do something for G. Well, let's start there. I don't have a plan for how to do the G afterward, but that's okay. I can make one eventually. Okay, there we go. So mirrors are good for what I'm doing. Magenta. If I want cyan, then I need to path this differently. Or actually, I want white coming out of here. Oh, is that doable? While also doing magenta? I don't think it is. Unless I can... Can I snake this through like that? Certainly. Okay, so I have white and also the ability to magenta. Okay, there we go. So, let's start with that. Okay, great. So now I just have to... I've reduced the problem to having one that I need to move around. Problem is, I don't think I can XOR in a way that gets me access to just that one. Unless maybe... Okay, so let's think about this. First of all, I'm going to disconnect my pipes. Because I've done my white work just as much as I want to, probably. So if I just want to move you... Are there any repeated letters here? well, repeated of the letter that I want. Itris has only one S, Argony has one Y, Elinsa has one S, Ugrant has one T, Relling has one G, Mizur has one M. G is not what I'm looking for. Relling has only one E. No. Okay. So if I XOR here to get these three, and here to get those two, I also unlock Y. So I could do 3 and 2. Let's do a 3 and a 2. Yes, by moving these two, by moving these 3, while the other 3 are unlocked so that the E is in place. Then doing... Wait, I can't... No, I can. I did that once. I had exactly 2 unlocked. They were not next to each other, though. Okay, so maybe I would prefer... So hang on. Can I have all but these 2 locked? How did I do... Okay, so they were 1 index apart. Yeah, so the unlocked double was 3 apart. And that was important, wasn't it? No. No, to have these 2 locked while nothing else is... No, unlocked while everything else is locked. So hang on, I need odd, odd, even, even, odd, odd. 1 here, 1 here. No, that's just all odd. I don't think I can have 2 next to each other unlocked while everything else is locked. But if I work with this instead... I'm probably going to have to activate 3 at a time. Or change my plan. Okay, so let's change the plan. Or, hang on, so if 3 toggles... Yeah. 3 toggles is no good. The adjacent overlap is a little hard to visualize. Okay, so let's think about it this way. What shapes of toggles can I actually create? So I know I can have 2 unlocked that are 3 away from each other, with everything else locked. I know I can have 3 unlocked with the other 3 locked for any contiguous 3. If I were to shoot 3 lasers, in what situation would that be different from shooting 1 laser? Let's say I lasered here, here, and here. That'd be odd, odd. No, wait, hang on. So this one would be at 3. These 2 would be at 2. These 2 would be at 1. This would be at 0. Wait, so how is that? Let's do these 3 so I don't have to wrap around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0. Odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Okay, so then what if I shot here, here, and here? 1, 2, 2. Wait. Plus 1 there. Plus 1 there. Yeah, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Which is the same as 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. Just shooting a laser here. So that doesn't do anything interesting. What if I shot here, here, and here? Plus 1 to all 3 of these. Plus 1 to all 3 of these. Plus 1 to those 2 in this one. I think that's 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Don't like it much. Okay, so combinations of 2. I can have them next to each other, which creates lock here, 4 unlocked. I have an odd number I need to toggle, so I need interference between an even and odd numbered lockdown pattern. So basically I probably want, since I can't have a 1, I want a 2 and a 3, where the one that's not shared is this column. Having done the operation that I did may have done me no favors. It's hard to tell. But yeah, just conceiving of what I want to do, actually doing it is going to be a relatively easy process. But conceiving of what I want to do needs to be completed first. Right, yes, so that was an important clue, but it's very easy to understand. Okay. So to have you unlocked, and also 2 others. So the patterns that I saw would either be 2 that are adjacent. So these 3, or these 3, or these 2 and this one unlocked. Or stripes. This one, and this one would move. But from stripes, how do I turn that into... Right, but then I can also have wide stripes. Every 2, every 3, 3 contiguous. Those are basically the patterns I get. Okay, so if those are... And also 2 contiguous, which is how I did... No, that's every 3. Yeah, so I think the 3 patterns here are 3 contiguous locked, 3 contiguous unlocked. Locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, alternating, or the opposite of that. Locked, unlocked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, unlocked. So first one is regular stripes, that one's wide stripes, I'm calling it. Yeah. So chunk, stripes, wide stripes. But there's also, yeah, so wide stripes is a 2, chunk is a 3, stripes is a 3. I used wide stripes to get system. So I need, let's see here. It needs to involve wide stripes again. And then, at which offset? Wide stripes and then chunk, could I do that? So the 2 I interacted with, right, I can see if the names are scrambled. So this doesn't say Alinsa, this doesn't say Mazur. So I striped up these 2, but maybe that's not how I want to start. Can I have chunk of 4, chunk of 2? I don't think so, no. How would that happen? What happens if I have a laser, two laser targets 2 apart? So let's say here and here. Those remain unlocked. That's stripes, isn't it? 0, 1, 1. Wait. 2, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1? 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. Yeah, that's wide stripes. Okay. And if I move them a little farther apart, so here and here, what does that mean? That's just everything locked. Can't do anything with that. And if they're one more apart, then they're just one more closer together in the other way of wrapping. If they're right next to each other, though, 0, 1, 2, 2, 1, 0, that's just another way to make wide stripes. Wait, how does... Or is that regular stripes? No? 0, 1, 2, 2, 1, 0. Even, odd, even, even, odd, even. Stripe here, wide stripes. When farther apart, so here and here. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 0. Odd, odd, even. Odd, odd, even. Wide stripes but at a different offset. Okay. Anyway, that's fine. Those are all the combinations that I want, that I need, probably. So somehow, interference between a 3 and... How do I... Okay, so what interference pattern resolves this, though? Do I want to reset? Maybe what I did here wasn't so productive. I mean, if I'm down to 1, then I know I can get there from this state. It's just, did I add a step to my solution by the first thing I did or not? I don't know. Anyway, so what operation do I wish to perform? I don't have currently an interference pattern in mind that moves this and 2 other things, then moves those 2 other things back to how they were. Because I don't think one exists. So regular stripes, here, here, and here. Then I would have these 2 that need to move. I could do a chunk here and reduce that 2 to 1. I could do a chunk here and increase that 2 to 3. That 1 to 2, sorry. And then stripe here, here, and here, and end up with just this 1. But how do I resolve further than that? I could, like, walk a cell over somehow using chunks and stripes interfering with each other? I feel like I need to chart this out, but again, exiting the game has a significant cost to it. I mean, exiting the game doesn't. I could do that, but I don't know what sort of visualization would help me with this further. Okay, so let's, now that I understand the stripe and chunk patterns, let's overlay them in such a way that adds an even number of operations to everything except this one. So any even number for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Any odd number for 5. So 5 has to move. Patterns that touch 5 are chunk centered here, chunk centered here, chunk centered here, involving those 3. Stripes, wide stripes like this, narrow stripes like this, this, and this. Okay. All right, now that I've enumerated those, I think I do just need to... Okay, let's go to a text editor. That'll be the way to solve this. All right, this should be basically workable. You can see what I'm thinking here. So here are the patterns that I can add at any offset I wish. Here is my state. My goal is to make these and this even, and this odd. This is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 3. So let's start by permuting the state such that I add wide stripes to this in the pattern that touches it. Okay? So that's my state. Then I need to resolve U, which means I've basically done nothing other than moved my problem around. So that operation looks like it doesn't do anything. That's weird, because now I have exactly one here that's in need of permutation, just like I had exactly one here that's in need of permutation. Why are these two states the same? Is there a fourth pattern that I can do here? I didn't find one, but okay, maybe let's explore here in a text editor. Let's explore patterns again. Assuming I've understood the input mechanism, at any index, all right, so forget about this state for a moment. Let's do adding a chunk to here. So centered at this spot, it does that. If I add another, yeah, let's just play with this, like this one state here. That's fine. No, I don't want to do it differently. Okay. Make it a mess. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to add, I've added a chunk at this spot. I'm going to add a chunk at this spot. So that's 2, 2, 1, even, even, odd, even, even, odd. That's just wide stripes. If I add a third one, is there anything interesting I can do with the pattern? So here it turns it into narrow stripes. Here it simply undoes the second one. Here it just turns it into a chunk on this side. Here it just turns it into a chunk centered there. Here it just turns it into a chunk centered there. What about this? That's just narrow stripes again. Weird. Okay, so that's with two next to each other, here and here. So if I do two a little bit farther apart. Odd, even, odd, odd, even, odd. That's wide stripes. Doing it here, that's everything locked, which is not productive. Wide stripes again, yeah, so everything is the same. Seems like I just get these three. But hang on, now I haven't gone all the way as far as doing two that are not next to each other. But see, again, every second wait a second. How do I make narrow stripes again? Here? No, that's wide. Wait, how do I make narrow stripes? This is wide. Wait, how do I make narrow stripes? Did I need 3 active? No, it was 2 apart. So if this was the spot, then I also choose this one. Okay, yeah, so this is the possible 4th pattern here. So I start with... Wait, that's not narrow stripes. No, hang on. I don't think I know how to do this. So everything is one index, locks two adjacent ones around it. Am I sure of that? I don't think I tested every laser receptor, but the pattern held for at least 3 that I tested. I think it's reasonable to extrapolate from 3. But okay, if this continues to be impossible, maybe I do need to go back and check if there's any... anything I could do... Like any of the other receptors have a different effect than, like, at one index, toggle that one and the adjacent one's lock state. But now, how did I ever arrive at this pattern? Okay, let's do a friendlier start. So if I do that, and I then... Oh, that was with 3. So it has to be 3 next to each other. So this is currently wide stripes, then I do a third one, that's where I need 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0. Odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Okay, so that's how I get stripes. And I was thinking if I added one more to this... There's really nothing interesting I could make other than reverse wide stripes. Be like 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. But I can only have 3 lasers active at once. Okay, so stripes. Okay, then let's sort those. Any one makes a chunk. Any 2 makes wide stripes. It's impossible to use 2 lasers to make anything other than wide stripes except for all locked. Okay, sure, so all locked, not useful. I either make something useless or something that's equivalent to this at some index. The 3s. There's no other pattern of 3, right? So if I go back to 2 together, and I add a third, is there anything that does something interesting different from narrow stripes? So if I put it here, hang on. That's where I was already putting it. So here, here, and here. So here, here, and here. That's just a chunk. I might as well only toggle this and nothing else. And then this... That's again just a chunk. I might as well only toggle this and nothing else. And this option? I already tried that. And I can't retoggle either of these. Yeah, okay. So I feel like I've proven that these are the only patterns I can get. Okay. The initial state required... Yeah, so I should do this from the initial state. Elinsa was this column, Mazur was this column, Relling was this column, so they needed to change. So basically I need... Let's represent things this way. The number of offsets that each column needs to get to the solve state. None for whoever was the first one, none for whoever was the second one, 1 for Elinsa, none for whoever was the fourth one, 1 for Relling, 1 for Mazur. So I need to add numbers such that all of these are even, using those interference patterns at any shift index. So since I have 3 here, I don't want to turn this 3 into 1. I want to turn it into 2. Wait, check this out. Aha, so now I see clearly. Chunk at this index. Chunk at this index. Wait, I'm not seeing clearly. No, that's just done the same thing that I did to the other one. And there's also... So just having something unlocked and permutable... Ah, hold on, but the number of indexes it moves... The way the reals move also plays into this. The way the reals move does also play into this, because I could do like half in one direction, half in the other direction, and get back to how it was. There's more to this than I thought. Okay, Mazur's task is very complicated. Okay. So, with the way the reals move... First of all, the original problem I was trying to solve... Now, okay, since evens and odds are the same, let's just toggle between 1 and 0 just so it's easier to see what I'm doing. So toggle these. Oops. And I've put those together. Toggle... Well, you know what? Let's just... Let's see what each permutation of this with each type of toggle would do. So yeah, this is the good starting state. Let's put an extra line break. If I press my insert key, will it do what I want? If I press a modifier in my insert key... no. I don't have insert disabled. Alright, don't worry about it then. So that's the start state. Well, that's gonna... Here. That's the starting state. Okay, just so I don't overwrite it by accident. So here's U. If I chunk at index 0, this is the result. If I chunk at index 1, this is the result. So I'm just going to do a search and see if any of these look appealing. Here, 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 here. Here. And then here. None of those are one transformation away from being solved. Okay, so this and that are inverses of each other, but uneven inverse, which is interesting. Is it, though? Not really. Okay, so that was with the chunk pattern. Using the stripes pattern, there are only two options. There's either that or this. Okay, so stripes can do that. Well, sure, that's no permutation. So wide stripes has 3 indexes where I can do it. One here, one here, and one here. And that was the transformation I did, which got this closest to the solved state. Okay, so having done this process, I think I have shown reasonably clearly, unless I think I can do 2 or more operations to any of these results and get to all zeros, I think what that shows is I need to pay attention to the real behavior instead and exploit that. So now let's think about how those work. So two right next to each other will move each other in reverse from how they are. Now, what are the real offsets I actually need, though? Well, okay, I mean, since I know what the thing is. All right, what are the names? I know 3 of them. What am I doing? So if I'm spelling system, I think Argony was the second one. Ugrant was this one. So this is Itrus. Okay. Oh. That's not a Y. Okay, typing that backward is too much extra effort. So, if I'm trying to spell, yeah, Syzygy, right? That's how it started. If I'm trying to spell system, the offsets here. -2 +0 +0 +1 +0 -2 -1. By interacting with these two, they exactly cancel each other out. But yeah, so I need to consider these values now. Ah. If I give you a +1, that'll give you a +1. +2 is also, so the inverse of those. Here, let me just not mention the ones that don't need to move. Inverse of this would be -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inverse of this would be +4. Inverse of this would be +5. Okay, so either of those operations on each of these will get them to their correct state. Okay, so knowing that now, so yeah, I can take any set of these. Do any, like, overlapping sets of these add up to 0 the way that I want them to? If you hear a lawnmower, that's because somebody's mowing their lawn. And there's no game music or anything to cover it up. So these two canceled each other out, and that was more or less coincidence when I had only these 2 reels unlocked. However, now, can I do a stripes thing with you in a way that, okay. I think I might be able to. So a different form of canceling. Reels moving backward. So if I lock everything except you and one other. Do I want you and one other? Maybe. So if I did that, I subtract 1 from you. So I drag this upward, and something that's unlocked. So let's say this was wide stripes. That would mean that would put... Okay, so now I'm working with these values. Working with these values would mean... Let's say I've just done the thing that I did with wide stripes to get those 2 columns solved. So I just have to work with this one. So from that state, I subtract one from you. No, I add one to you. While... Hold up. Oh, now, wait, these patterns... Some of these patterns become interesting now. No, these patterns are false because they're interfacing with the start. So I need what? Okay, so chunk, wide stripes, and stripes patterns that touch this column. There's only one wide stripes that touches it, and there's only one stripes that touches it. So I'm either adding to both of these and not touching the rest, or adding to just this one and not touching the rest. Here we go. So that's a solve path then. Check it out. So from this initial state, well, this slightly permuted initial state with Elinsa and Mesure done, I add 1 to Rilling, while Elinsa and Itris are unlocked. Wait, how was this going to work? It is, right? Then I add 1 with Argony unlocked, putting me at this state. Then, wait, no, it doesn't put me at that state because you are reversed. You're an even, no, you're an odd number, 1, 2, 3, away. So that takes you to -1 because of the way the reals move. Then all I gotta do, right, you're at 0. All I gotta do from this state is chunk lock the rightmost 3, move this by +1, and these both move by -1, and that gets me my solve. Okay. So the steps are wide stripes, Elinsa, and Mesure. Wide stripes Rilling, but only move the reel by 1. Narrow stripes Rilling, and move the reel by 1 more. Chunk, Itris, Argony, and Elinsa, and move by 1. Okay, so I do what I did. I do both types of stripes touching Rilling, moving once each. And then I fix the rest with 1 single chunk operation, which should be obvious at that point. Okay, I think that's a solve path. Okay, my state was kept. I have done the permutation on Elinsa and Mesure. Rilling needs both types of stripes. Let's do the harder one first. So I need the 3 indexes that are here, here, and here. So I need cyan, magenta, and yellow all together. Okay, cyan, magenta, yellow all together. To do that looks like a problem because of this block. Okay, there may be additional constraints now that I see that. That is what I desire, though. So, could I... Yeah, because that would involve 3 lasers coming up here, which is impossible because I can't have this lane shared by 2. Oh. Can I reverse what I'm doing and instead do white, cyan, yellow down here? That's not equivalent, is it? Is it? So this, and this. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. There are definitely different ways that I could do this. I could also just... No, what I want to do is shift by 2. So yellow, white, cyan. Or cyan, cyan, yellow. No, that's a shift by 2. Cyan, cyan, yellow. I'm just going to trust my intuition here. And let's do whichever one of those sounds easiest, which is maybe to make 2 different cyans. And then a yellow. Okay, so I have a problem here. If I make 2 different cyans and then I want a yellow, green needs to get together with red, and how's that going to happen? I think I'm making the wrong colors in the wrong places. So yeah, this is now the hard step as far as the lasers go. Yeah, so I decided these 3 were impossible, so I can shift them by 2 in either direction. So that's cyan, cyan, yellow, or let's look at the other way. Yellow, white, cyan. Maybe that's easier. For mirrors, it certainly is. I would just need one here, here, and here. Assuming I could accomplish that, which I will assume. So let's look at the lasers then. That would mean I want yellow at the bottom? It doesn't have to... Oh, it does have to be. Unless I'd go here, here... Oh... Mirror here, mirror here, mirror here. So this cyan, this yellow, like that. The white going just here. Okay. So leftmost, topmost yellow. That's the natural way for that to be. And the short path is like this, right? Okay. Sure, so you'd have to move down by 1, I'd put a thing here, I'd put a thing here. I can do all of those things. What about that last one? Sure, certainly. I need to rotate you too, though. So go ahead and do that. Okay, then... Wait, no, it's you that needs to move, so then... Problem is I need this here. And how's that going to happen? Well, like this. Like this, he says, as if he knows anything. I know something. It's wrong, though. Can I rotate around and make this work somehow? No. I need you here. There's not really realistically any way for that to happen, is there? Oh, maybe. I just don't think I have the backstops for it. What if I did... What? No. No. No, I don't think I can have all of those things at once, can I? Okay, so more complications. While I'm here, let's verify... Yeah, that does as expected. Okay. Is there another mirror path that would work better for this? I guess I could swap... Okay, so if I had one here and here... how am I thinking about this? If this was the yellow, It would come up there. There'd be a mirror in... what spot? I don't know. No spot. Okay, first of all, let's make that happen so that I can actually see what I'm doing. If this be yellow, that's gotten it there. This would have to be white. And cyan would go there. That's just what I was already doing, wasn't it? No, it's a little different. In fact, it's possible. Here we go. That's a mirror arrangement that works. Now, can I do the pipe arrangement that works? Okay, so I need bottom to be white. Cool. Then I also need top to be cyan. Not possible. Probably. Not probable. Okay. This block exists. Okay, so how many reds, greens, and blues is that? If I'm not using this port, there's not much better I could do with it exactly. So right, that's one yellow, one white, one cyan. All three of those involve green. So green goes to everything. Okay. Now that's made this inaccessible to... who else needs to be in the middle? Red. So red needs to share the middle. And for green to hit the top while red's hitting the middle is impossible unless I can route you all the way around, which I also cannot. No, no ridiculous arrangement would allow this to be yellow, while everything else also works. Okay, so this is a lot of labor to discover whether this is possible or not, and also not really get a conclusive answer to that. This is not a particularly hard proof here. There may be a possible mirror pattern here that allows a different one of those to be yellow. Okay, so what would be an ideal set of, like, which laser is which here for that to work out? Well, I note that if this mirror wasn't here and everything else was exactly the same, that I could simply have cyan at the top, white in the middle, which is the best place for it, yellow at the bottom. Really, I want those the other way around. Because red's up here and blue's down there, not the other way. So green touches everything, yes. Cool. What I need is for... So minimal red, minimal blue. What I need is for this to be legal, but it's not because red has to also touch that, and how could that be possible? Okay, so I can make white here. One of those is green, it's U. The green needs to be cyan, so blue needs to be involved with that, and I don't see how that's possible. White feels like it has to be the middle one. So if these are the white requirements, working backward, then only red could reach here. I can't have middle be white because this block is here. So I think I can't involve white when I have all three lasers. Let's set that as an assumption. If I'm using all three lasers, white cannot be involved. So that would mean that the valid shifts are cyan, magenta, yellow, which is impossible for a different reason because I have a bottleneck here that not enough lasers can cross. So the only one that could possibly be valid is cyan, cyan, yellow. 2 cyans and a yellow. Okay, so 2 cyans and a yellow. Doesn't matter super much which is which. The mirror positioning for that should be relatively easy, so let's check the pipes. Oh, the way these are placed is not ideal. It's fine though. 2 cyans and a yellow. So cyan number 1. Okay, so can I go like way around here? So that's... No, that's only 1 red in the yellow. Only 1 red. So obviously this one wants to be the yellow one. Okay? That way red's already done its job. So 2 cyans, that's easier. I think there's just enough room to do... Pipes, please. All of this. There is. Got 2 cyans and a yellow. Now, let's direct them to the right place. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. There we go. Okay. Is that the right way around? Yes. So Relling gets... +1. Uh-oh, did I set my offsets wrong? I don't think it matters. Anyway, I bring it closer by 1, which has brought both of these up by 1. Now I make wide stripes, which is much easier because that's only a 2 laser pattern. Yeah, so I've done the 3 laser pattern. It's already done. Wide stripes is just... Sorry, no. Yes, this was narrow stripes. So I need wide stripes, which means these 2? Magenta and yellow, would that do it? Yes. Magenta and yellow. No. Wait. No. No. Cyan and yellow. So here and here. So that's 1, 2. No, wait. What? No, I need them next to each other, don't I? 1, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. Wait, this is reverse. Oh, wide stripes locks 2, not 4. I was thinking of reverse wide stripes. Oh, shoot, my plan has a flaw. Right? Hang on. Okay, so let's do a cyan and a yellow. Or just any 2 that are just 2 apart from each other. Like, for example, take out this yellow. No, this is doing it right. Okay, well, just shift this over by 1. So yellow and magenta. Or... Yeah. Let's do yellow and magenta. Okay. Bottom yellow and this magenta. Okay. Bottom yellow plus magenta. So here's a yellow. Here's a magenta. And I'm looking for bottom yellow. Like that. Okay. That did not do what I wanted, because you're not in the right place. Get this out of here. Okay. That's also not in the right place. I shifted the wrong direction. Wait. What the... Yeah, I guess I shifted the wrong direction, so that means I need then... I shifted down, so I need to shift up instead. So up 2 means this magenta becomes yellow, this yellow becomes white. So this white and that yellow. White again? That's okay, it's only 2. I can do another white. Like this. I have a white and I have a magenta. Don't I want a yellow? What am I doing? It's these two. So white and yellow. Yes. Okay, just start over. Here's a yellow. And, no, can't do that. Here's a white. And they're in the wrong places. That's okay. I can fix... Oh, okay. They're in the right places. There we go. All right, so then Relling moves one more closer. Perfect. Okay. So now I just do a single chunk on the left. So I want to beam cyan only. Bottom cyan, nothing else. All right, bottom cyan, nothing else. There we go. Done. And I move this way and it's solved. There we go. Beep, beep, beep. Yes. You sure did. All right. Finale. There's still a fire here. Sprinklers are not doing a whole lot. Okay, so that's where System Repair Bot is. Still functioning to some degree. Okay. We're in Syzygy. Ship now aligned. Preparing to fire. And how did we stop this again? It looks like it's doing it. The Alliance, right, that was mentioned once. Loading new program. Okay, so now is when the reprogramming applies. Aligning ship system components into Syzygy. Whoa. Oh, what the... Ooh! Ejected into space. That's good. There it goes. Ship drifted a bit. Just missed the planet! Okay. And that got terraformed. That was quick. That was a narrow miss, but we did it! Yes, exactly what I said. All right. Cool. Her part was the hardest, though. Flora in the biodome. Right, we do have a biodome. Okay. Cool. Oh, right. That's the life we have on board, of course. The plants in the biodome. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds good. Ah! Yes. But I want more puzzles. But I'm also satisfied with what I did. Okay. We're done with the puzzles. Cool. That'd be nice. That. Yeah, all right. Okay, great. It's working. Playtesting. Oh, this is cool. Look at that. All right. Woohoo. Apologies too, of course. So Cliff Johnson we know. Andrew Plotkin, we're going to get to know at some point soon, I hope. Mm-hmm. All right. And that's the new planet. Terraformed, ready to accept plant life. It already looks like it has plant life on it. It wouldn't be that green otherwise. Okay, info. Return to the map to select another scene. Okay, and I assume replay would show me that whole cutscene again. Probably. Yeah, alright. So all complete. So if I wanted to replay any puzzles, I could just like come in here and do that. Or re-look at any clues or whatever. Great. Fantastic game. I loved everything about this. This is just, it hit the spot perfectly for me. Oh yeah. Alright, yeah, so there's at least one other Cliff Johnson-like that I have not played, and some actual official Cliff Johnson games I have not played. Not sure how I'm going to schedule everything, but those are definitely things that I am looking at in the near future. So, this was System Syzygy, a fantastic time. I'll see you again for something else.